start there.
What do we? Yeah, we're gonna
let's
fucking
start. Let's start
there.
on 500.
Well, we should start on 500 because you know why?
We're not talking about an even record.
You know why, America? Because you got to stop bending over. And fitting on our 500th episode, that's right, boys and girls, the redoubtable and high question one. Nobody has killed us, nor have we killed each other. 500 big ones.
Halfway to 1,000. Halfway to 1,000.
Who would have thought? 2 kids 2 years ago with a dream. I say 2 kids because we're still fucking kids. We still. You've seen enough episodes to know.
2 kids with a dream.
2 kids with a dream, just living it out right in their garage.
Who's this parked over there?
I don't know.
Somebody in their pajamas.
Over there. Why not?
I apologize. I'm lighting a cigar for 500.
Well, don't apologize for that. And by the way, it's perfect because it falls on a Wet My Whistle Weed Wednesday on the IDD calendar, the Dagobah calendar. And so for the 500th time, that is the redoubtable one, Thomas J. Izzo. Congratulations, brother. 500. 500, man. How does it feel? I mean, were you getting goosebumps today?
Well, it's kind of like...
knowing the moment was coming? Like...
I wouldn't say goosebumps. I had knots.
You were nervous.
It was,
nervous. Really?
Nervous.
You?
Yeah.
He doesn't normally get
coming
nervous.
into 500. I mean,
I don't know. He doesn't normally get nervous.
You got to show up.
You do.
You know?
You do. But you've always shown up. When have you ever had a DNP? Never.
Maybe never on camera.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I got DNPs
we have
across my.
There have been a few solo acts in this show. Dude, I didn't get any sleep last night. I couldn't. Dude, you won't believe this. I played video games till 4 a.m. And I haven't grown up.
Actually, it was the other night till 5 a.m.
On a work night too.
And I ruined myself for a day and a half.
And he thinks I didn't know.
But look, I'm not talking about those kind of DNPs. I'm talking about life DNPs. But how does it feel? I don't know.
How does it feel? 500.
It's a little interesting.
I think it is.
You know? Ooh,
I got it. Nice. She's light and nice. Anyway, welcome back to IDD.
I don't know. Does it feel like it's been that long?
No. It feels like it. I mean.
So I think it's a little
weird.
bit of a misnomer.
It's
because
weird.
It's not 500 episodes.
No.
All right. It's 500 segments. I think if it was 500 episodes, we'd be like, what?
Well,
3, 5, 4 years in.
Way more than that. We're 2 years in now. If you only go twice a week. So that's 26 times a year. Break it down. That's, because wait.
But there's 53 weeks in a year?
There's 53 weeks or 52. 52 or 53 weeks in a year.
All right, let's say 52.
All right. If we go twice a week, so out of every 7 days, so out of a month, if you think about it, that's That's 8 times in a month, right?
Yeah.
So 8 times 12 is 96.
Something?
Yeah.
Oh,
it'd be 96, so we'd be at we're in year 2 now? Or we've just passed June was year 2, wasn't it?
So we'd be over 5 years in.
It'd be over 5 years.
If it was really.
Yeah, because we're like 180 something if we're thinking that. But in terms of segments, 500 I think is frankly significant. 500 is.
No, not saying it's not significant. It definitely is.
Yeah.
It's just when you think about it, you go 500 episodes. God, it doesn't feel like we've been doing it that long. But it's because it's 500 segments.
Of course.
Right.
Anyway, this is IDD for those of you in the know. I don't disagree. For those of you joining us for the first time, our 500th time, America. Again, it's a Wet My Whistle Wet.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
When do you consider it to be true longevity? How many episodes in this sense?
I think that's more years to your point.
More years.
Yeah, because I would say if we get to 5.
5 years is longevity.
That'd be awesome.
Just doing anything.
I think we could do this. I could see us doing this for a long time. In fact, when I think of us, I think of Batman and the Joker. When the Joker says to Batman, I can't kill you because you won't die. And you won't kill me because you are just distorted by this self-righteous idealist fucking. And he goes, I think you and I are destined to do this forever. And that's what I think about and that's a testament to him as a friend more than anything else. Because one of my favorite parts of every week is getting to talk sports with my friend. And that's been cool. That's something I've looked forward to.
That's a pretty big compliment.
That's something I look forward to.
Cheers to you.
I look forward to that every week. Even when our teams are shit in the bed, I still look forward to it. Because we're going to have a good time about it anyway. We're going to have a few laughs over. We're going to vent a little, so it's a little therapeutic, if you will. I think having somebody to bounce this shit off of is kind of cool. When my brother Pete was there, we were roommates. This was every night in the damn, and we didn't even realize what was happening, but it was therapeutic. It's nice to be able to have that again because I didn't have it for forever. So.
It took us a long time to get here.
It did.
How many years were you here when we started doing it?
Well, it's now 6.
So you were here 4 years before we started.
I think so. Or is it 7? No, it's 7. Yeah, 7. It's 7 years on August 20th. We'll be on the 7th.
Oh,
this August.
This August.
Yeah, the 20. It'll be like 20. We came here in 2017. It'll be 7 years on August 20th.
And we started doing this 2 years ago? Slightly over
5
2?
years, basically. It took for us to get to you.
I remember when you talked to me about it.
Yeah.
We were outside. You were like, hey, man, I'm thinking about, when we do some, podcasts on sports.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'd do that.
Be cool. Yeah, that could be fun. We've had some epic moments on this fucking show.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I got to find a way to. I should have just started doing it from the beginning, but you don't know what you're
clipping.
Yeah, taking historic clips out and just putting them in a folder.
That takes a lot of time, though.
Yeah, but if you're doing it right along,
yeah.
If I
if you're listening anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So, because a lot of times I'm trying to, I can't remember what we talked about.
All right, but like,
when you
think favorite moment on these episodes, what would be your? It's probably not your favorite moment. But when I say that, what's the first one that pops up? I have one.
The very first favorite moment for me, because
there's
more than one. If we're being honest.
No, I'm saying the one that pops in quickest. I know it might not even be your favorite, but because there's one that pops into my head all the time.
It's, I think I know the one he's talking about. I think I do. But I'm so stoned I can't recall it.
Okay, I'll tell you my favorite.
What is it?
Well, and I don't even know if it's my favorite. It's the one that always pops up first.
Well, that would qualify as a favorite.
As a favorite. But it doesn't take away from the other great times.
Oh, God. There's been some fucking
But it was the Colorado comeback game.
That's not the one I was thinking of, but that's
you were
a good
thinking
one.
of Shartface, probably.
That was what I was thinking of.
That, in terms of funniness, that was one of the funniest things ever. But in terms of sports memories, we got a couple. And here's the funny thing is, that's the one that comes up first, but then the other one that I think of, that then I immediately elevate, is the Dante DiVincenzo 3, when the Knicks came back against Philly in the playoffs.
That was pretty awesome.
In terms of
and I'm not a fan of them. That was pretty awesome.
In terms of sports moments we've shared together.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That one was amazing. The Colorado one was great.
That was great.
Remember he was up against that coach that had talked shit about him?
Yeah.
He's like,
why you take my sunglasses off to talk to me? Like, who gives
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
And I'm not, some of Dion's act is too much, quite honestly, but most of it's okay. That's on the list on the pecking order. That's nowhere near what he made out of that. That was. I'm like, there's other things you could have picked at.
Well,
that's terrible.
I think he just didn't like him. Which is fine. I think Dion has one of those personalities. Like,
it's love hate.
If you don't like him,
yeah, I can see why people hate him. Because he's one of the cockiest sons of a bitch.
He really is. But it seems so genuine.
No, but he's just.
It seems so genuine.
It's not an act. Larry Bird was cocky.
Right.
But it was real. That's why everybody loved him, because that's just who he is. He would do it to everybody. I swear to God, I think Larry Bird must be dying because, honestly, I'm seeing more and more stories from guys of the past all the time. Bird talked shit to me. And it's getting Gary Payton. I saw Terry Porter the other day. All these guys. Patrick Ewing telling a story of it's all over the place. It's like, is he dying? Am I missing something? Someone please tell me he's okay, because it's been popping up everywhere lately.
It's probably just like young people discovering it, and then the things go viral.
I think the LeBron thing has had something to do with this, because the argument for best small forward of all time is LeBron and Bird. And people think LeBron have passed him. I'm like, in what way? He's just played longer. He just stayed healthier. He hasn't won. Bird's win percentage is higher. Like, Bird's numbers overall are better. And he lost 2 years because of his back. I mean, he really only played 11 years. If you think about it.
It's really a different conversation. You're talking about who's the actual better player. A lot of people equate the career with how good the player was, and that's not always really an even thing.
I mean, there are guys that hung around that were just good enough. Brian Hoyer.
Okay.
The scab of scabs.
But you can't compare him to LeBron. Come on.
I'm just saying, no. I'm just saying that there
LeBron
are guys.
has hung around at a
I'm just saying.
star level.
I'm saying no. I'm not saying he played at his level. I'm saying my point is the longevity thing is overblown because a stiff like that can last 16 years if he plays his cards right.
Sure, but
So to me, it's overblown.
But I mean, with stars, we're talking about with stars.
I'm just saying if that stiff could hang around.
Because if you play 20 years, doesn't make you great. But we're talking about LeBron being great for 20 years. Now, you're talking about in their prime, who's the better player? You're picking Larry Bird, right? That's what you're talking
You're
about.
asking me because really, and I've said this to him before. The only way to really compare these athletes, the ones that you've seen, is to take them all at the age of 28,
the prime,
28,
right?
the
Yeah.
start of their prime,
Yeah.
the start of it, right when they hit that and they were going to be on that level for however long.
Yeah.
28 is the number.
And then you say, all right, who
You
would
say,
you
all right,
pick?
who would I take at 28? I said this to a guy the other day. I'll take a 28-year-old Larry Bird over a 28-year-old Michael Jordan. And everybody will say, you're crazy. No, I'm not, because he's the only guy in any age group that beat Michael Jordan on his best day, because he did. And it was April 23rd, 1986, and you know the day if you know basketball. He scored 63 fucking points, and he lost.
Well, Jordan was still young, though, right? How old was
He was
Jordan?
in his third year in the league.
And Bird was in his what?
7th.
So Bird was like prime stride.
Yeah.
Jordan was still great. I mean, he was still.
Bird was
obviously.
great right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Bird was all NBA first team in the first 11 years of his career, okay? Before the injuries happened. And that's the only reason the streak broke, because he didn't play a year. It was like, that's the thing. Like, Bird was
Right, but
great.
Jordan wasn't. But Bird wasn't as good as he was in his 6th year.
Bird won a
right?
championship in his 2nd season.
But don't you think he got better and better?
He was rookie. He kept getting better, but I'm saying Bird took a team that was 29 wins
Yeah.
the year before him. In his rookie year with no Parrish, no DJ, no McHale, he takes them from 29 to 61. This wasn't Tim Duncan coming back onto a Spurs team that had David fucking Robinson on it. Okay, and by the way, the reason they got Duncan was because Robinson missed the whole season with injury. The year before, they won 56 games. That was what happened. And the Celtics had the worst record. You should have got that stupid lottery is why that happened. Talk about super lucky. There wouldn't have been a Spurs dynasty. He'd have been a Celtic.
Well, dude, I know you hate on some of LeBron's teammates, but he took a pretty bad Cavs team to the finals. It was impressive.
I don't call a team with 2 other All-Stars on it bad.
Who?
Kevin Love was an All-Star
No,
at the
no, no,
time.
no. I'm talking about
what?
when he was young. When he was young.
I said if
He did amazing things in
LeBron
Cleveland.
James had just fucking stayed in Cleveland, I will guarantee you 2 things. One, he wouldn't have half the hate he has now on him. And again, he's done nothing wrong. He's a model citizen. He's an all-time great player. He's in my top 10. You don't get in my top 10 unless you're all-time fucking great. Okay? The bottom line is this. Okay? He lost a lot of people because people are big on loyalty. And when they see a guy leave a fan base that worshiped the ground he walked on, they fucking, are you kidding me? He was their Babe Ruth. That's what he was. And they hadn't had a guy like that since Jim Brown. That was 60, 70 years ago. Most of them never had Jim Brown. They weren't even alive yet when he was doing his thing. They know his name. He's a legend, but he wasn't theirs.
He didn't lose me because of that. No, I mean,
You weren't a Cavs fan until the Knicks started to suck and you had to find something. Then LeBron showed
I
up.
was never a Cavs fan.
Exactly. I'm talking about the Cavs fans. The ones that they drafted him. He's there.
But I don't think he gets most of his hate from Cavs fans. Hey, Cavs fans love him again because he came home.
came back and won one.
championship.
But then he did it again. He walked away.
Right,
again.
but at that point he was golden to them.
If he had stayed there
I agree
and never
with you.
left,
Of course,
by the way, he'd have more championships. And I'll tell you why.
you might be right.
I'll tell you why. Because whether people want to admit this or not, and I, as a competitor, I can speak to this. The guys that were loyal to the team came first are the ones I always stuck to and went to battle with. The guys that were all about themselves, nope. And there's something to be said for that. Because you know what's funny now? Nobody wants to go and play with him. Look at what the fuck just happened this offseason. Nobody wants to play with him. Why? Why would you not want to play with a guy who's one of the 10 best players that ever lived and he can still play at a high level? There's only one reason, and it's a personality thing. It's not his talent. There's something about him, and nobody says it, but think about what just happened this offseason. Think about who turned
What, you
him
mean
down.
like they don't like him?
They don't want to play with him. I've said this before. He takes responsibility for nothing. I've never heard LeBron say when his team gets beat, I fucked up, I got to be better. I have never fucking heard him say that. Never not
Come
fucking
on, he's
once.
had to at least said that
I've
once.
never heard him say it after any loss in any round to anyone. I have never heard him say I.
I'm sorry.
Never, not once. And if he has said it, nobody's told me about it. So, I don't know. But the thing is, and he's a great player, but this is the thing about, Bird, now we got off the loyalty thing. I mean, to me, 28 years old, I saw Larry Bird beat everyone in front of him and tell them he was going to do it. And these were all-time greats that he did it to, that are top 10, top 20 players. Olajuwon, Kareem. I mean, no way. You don't just talk. Jordan as well. Okay? He swept Jordan when he was 28. Swept him. So. Anyway. Hopefully there's nothing serious going on over at the Izzo household. But right now, what we were talking about, how this whole thing started, was the 500th anniversary. And the significant, or the moments that jump out into your mind. And yeah, I totally agree with the one he's talking about. The Colorado moment and the Knicks moment, absolutely, a sporting event.
Why can't you come on with it?
But, oh God. Lovely cigar though. By the way, segment, I don't know what Tom's drinking, but Diet Pepsi tonight. Trying to, I wouldn't call this healthy. Anyway, so, but greatest moments, yeah, those are two that ring right out. The Sunday we came on when Belichick, the Patriots lost over in Europe there. We came on that Sunday morning after that game, and I've blown a gasket a few times on this show. That might have been explosion number one.
Are you sharing a greatest memory? Or are you talking about the Pats?
One of the greatest memories.
Oh, that's what you're talking?
Yeah, because when I watched that, I was laughing at myself. I'm like, oh my God, you look insane. I looked at myself and I'm like, you look fucking insane. You look like, it was like and when I think I went too far, I mean, look at my fucking shirt. When I think I went too far, America. I mean, or just when you think I think I've gone too far. I have not gone too far. So, I mean, because you think about it, if Tom and I were running this country, oh my God. How much fun would this country be if you and I were running it?
I don't want to run this fucking country.
Why? You don't think you can make it fun?
Fuck all that.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I can't even deal with the stress of being a manager in a fucking corporation. You think I'm going to manage the fucking
You're the
country?
vice president. You don't get in trouble for anything. It's all on me.
No way in hell I'm going to let you run this bitch.
Why not? Why not? You're not liable for
You
anything.
think you're going to be the prez? Oh,
yeah.
hell no.
Oh, I look better.
Hell
I look
no.
better in front of a podium. I look serious. I look like I might
Until you
actually
start talking.
I might. Well, then obviously serious goes out the window. And it really depends on what day of the calendar it is, which is my first point.
We
We'd have the
either
best
come
calendar.
as a co-president situation. That's correct.
Well, it would be historic.
I mean, I think that's what you
They've
need.
never had a co.
Think about
something that would be historic.
the co-presidency.
They've never had a co-presidency, have they? I know they have.
don't
I'm a
think
history major. No, it's never fucking happened.
I call for that. I mean, look, if we're Batman and Joker, we could be fucking co-presidents.
That's true.
Right?
I don't disagree.
Come on.
My comic book history starts with Batman.
Otherwise,
Best superhero.
Otherwise, look, you're my older brother. You can get president.
No.
If we can't do it, you can get president. I don't mind being VP.
Well, if we're in charge, don't we make the rules?
I don't like responsibility.
If we're well, this is the other thing.
I don't like responsibility.
No.
I don't like accountability.
He doesn't want to answer
Give me
for
the
it.
VP.
See, I want to answer for it.
I'll
I want to
talk
go in
all
front of
that
these
shit.
I want to go in front of all
Send
these
him out.
fucking media people. I will go right at them. You thought Trump was bad. Oh, I will go right at you. But unlike Trump, I'll actually hit you with some facts. Okay? Fact, I don't give a fuck. Fact, he doesn't give a fuck. Fact, you shouldn't give a fuck. Mr. President, Everyone's getting a raise this year. Why? Who gives a fuck? They deserve it. They put up with assholes like you all day. Fucking A, yeah. Matter of fact, we should get a raise too. We're going to deal with these dickheads. Yeah, but we do it because we love you. And by the way, we want to be truthful. So truth, we don't give a shit. That's it. And that's why people would love us, because we don't want them to give a shit. And by the way, the best way to do that is to reward them for working hard, because then they have something to give a shit about. They have incentive to do better work. And a 2% raise across the board, performance-based, of course, is a rational thing. That's a rational thing. And I'll bet you...
2% isn't getting anybody excited.
Per year?
That's what corporations do.
No, most of them don't.
Really?
Really, most of them do not. A couple of the big ones, and that's it.
Dude, where I work does.
You work at one of the big ones. Capital One is fucking huge. They're everywhere.
I'm saying it's kind of crazy, though. I mean, I don't know. I guess... So I take it for granted because...
You know how big Ferguson is?
Yeah.
Ferguson, I was there. They don't do it.
Really?
Yep. They don't do it.
Not even Big Fergie?
Big Fergie.
How many employees?
And by the way, you answer the phone like this if you're from Mass. Burgers. Like you almost can't. Burgers. Someone calls in, burgers.
Well, if you're answering the phone like that, you don't deserve a 2% raise, okay? So maybe that was the key.
That was one guy. Who, by the way, was in charge.
Exactly.
He was in charge. Who's running this shit out? Oh, donkey over there.
Where I work, if you meet expectations, you're going to get a 3% to your base.
Never happens. I've never been in a company that's done it. I've been in some big ones. Earthlink is a big one. They never did it. Okay? They're based nationwide company. They never did it. Wow. So, no.
I shouldn't take my place for granted, man.
No, you should not, which is probably why you're still there. You know why? Because he gets an annual raise if he fucking does his
14
job.
14 and a half years.
If he does his fucking... He's got a raise probably 14 fucking years in a row. I bet he has. Because I know what kind of person he is. So the thing is...
compliments galore tonight, folks.
The thing is... No, it's a fact. And I've known you 7 years. I think I can actually say that now. I think it's a fair assessment. But the point is, if all companies did that, production goes up. Morale is up. Bro, by the way, you get to retain people. You know how much it costs to hire and train people? He should know. He's fucking in the recruiting business. He probably has an idea. So the thing is, you don't want to keep having to spend money on that. You want people to grow with your company, have a career, not a job. Yeah. That's what every corporation should strive for. And if they did that and they met them halfway, and what's 2% or 3%? Come on.
See, that's why it's crazy, because corporations always seem greedy, and
they are. That's proof of it.
And as generous as mine is, there are still times where I look at it and go, "Come on, guys.
Yeah.
How much did we make last quarter? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're cutting shit. But
you know why?
That there are some that aren't even doing.
But see,
you got to share.
But you know why that keeps happening? Because your company knows if I give them a bump every year, they'll continue and they'll work harder.
It's better for us.
It's better for and production. It's better for them. Everybody fucking wins. Mm-hmm. But not in this fucking country. Nope. No,
you know what?
Nope.
It works. So it works the same way if you think about it customer-wise. It's like, if it's not good for the customer, it's not good for the business.
Nope.
If it's not good for the associate, it's probably not good for the business either.
No.
Because if you're beating people down to get to your finish line, it's never going to last.
The guy that worked for
Although,
me...
plenty of corporations are still here.
A guy that worked for me, and he knows him, at ADT, Brian Caroline, who was one of the 10 best sales guys in the country for 7 years in a row. He inherits me.
His business out?
He inherits me. He's not there anymore. He inherits me. That was Defenders. They sold out. The point is, when we were together, he had one of the worst branches in the country. He was one of the best 10 because nobody around him was any good. And they went through manager after manager after manager, and they're all gone within like 6 months or whatever. And one guy lasted a year and a half because nobody fucking gave a shit about Richmond. So I come out of the Boston branch, and we set a record for most superstars. And because superstar, the top 100 in the country, the whole country, we set 9. Record, okay? So he comes out of Richmond, and then he hears his new bosses from that Boston branch.
Oh, the 9 superstars.
Yeah. Oh, you got, yeah. So.
Mr. 9 superstar.
So he didn't like me at first, but then all of a sudden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't, because he thought I was gonna hold him accountable.
But I thought he was good.
Listen, the thing is, absolutely, of course you can. You have to ask your family. So when he comes into my office for a 1-to-1, because I had a 1-to-1 with every person when I started, just so I could say, look, I don't care what happened. I could rip up what I did with some of them. I'm like, here's your last 4 performance reports, and I just ripped them up and threw them in the trash right in front of them. I don't give a fuck. Right? It's what you do now. That's to me, it's a clean slate. And they like that. Okay? But I said, I
You really did that?
Yep.
You Lombardied them?
I Lombardied them.
It's impressive.
But I didn't do it to Carawan because he was a 7-time superstar, and he finished in the top 10 7 years in a row. So he's the elite of the elite. So I asked him one day, because we were struggling, trying to get people in here. Things were starting to get a little better. I had taken over logistics. Guys weren't quitting because they weren't getting all the way across the state in one day, which is basically my guys kept quitting. So change that. We start doing better. He's like, did anyone give you permission to do that? I'm like, nope. And he looked at me like, what do you mean, no? He goes, who'd you ask? I'm like, I didn't ask anybody. He goes, you didn't even ask? And I said, is there a problem? And this is in our one-to-one. He goes, well, and he kind of froze for a minute and caught himself. And he's like, no, every other manager I have, whenever we wanted something or asked something, they'd have to go through upper management, and it always came back a no. I said, well, maybe that's why I'm here, genius. So he looked at me and goes, all right, well, I'm listening. I said, I need you to do me a favor. He goes, all right, now you're going too far. I'm like, you don't know what the favor is yet. He goes, let me guess. You're going to ask me to help you train the guys. And I was like, salute. Okay. So no, I got him, he got me, and he's like, wow, you're okay with me getting one over on you? I'm like, I'm not here to win individually. I'm here to win as a team, and I need you to do it. He's like, but I want money, and you're not going to be able to pay me that, and you can't do that without asking. And I said, no, but you know what I can do? He goes, what? I'm like, I can give you any fucking schedule you want. You can go wherever you want. You pick your week. If you want to do one install in a day, I don't give a fuck. He goes, what? I'm like, well, who are you going to clear that with? I'm like, I just looked at him. And that's how we made the branch successful. Because now he was coming in, he was all excited because he could do whatever he would like. And I said, just hit your numbers and help me with this and we'll fix it. And then all of a sudden, at one point, we were the 5th greatest branch in America. We got there for almost a month. We stayed there for a month. We were 5th and never. They couldn't get out of the bottom 110.
How did we get on this?
Well, my point is, if you give people incentive to do better, right, they'll continue. We were talking about Capital One. We were running for president, and we were talking about my first policy would be this.
Right.
My second policy, you like this one, America? No taxes after 60. Any objections there? I don't think anybody said I don't have a problem with that one. No taxes after none.
Why no taxes after 60?
Because if you bought the system and did everything right for 40 years, I'm not taking your money for the rest of it. And I'd make that ironclad so it couldn't be amended and couldn't be taken out by the next president if it wasn't me.
What if you're like super duper rich?
What?
What if you're like super duper rich?
After the age of 60, there's plenty of people in this country to pay for this country. Okay? To pay for its freedom. And that's where it starts. Let's be honest. Have you seen the war budget? We spend $800 billion a year.
It's been too much.
That's more than the next 8 strongest militaries combined.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
China, Russia, Great Britain. Think about what I'm saying here. Do you know where that's coming from? The middle class predominantly. After 60, you ain't paying no more fucking taxes. Fuck off. Okay? So far I don't hear an objection, Tom.
Well, dude, I might not even make it to 60.
Third
great
one.
Policy.
Third one, healthcare and education, all the way through, free and taken care of by the government, and the government will pay their professors. They will fucking pay them what a teacher is worth.
Okay, so now you've cut taxes and
over 60.
Added a major expense.
Tom, have you ever heard of the Federal Reserve?
The Federal Reserve is empty.
No, it's not.
We're literally just printing money that isn't worth a goddamn thing.
The debt, they say, is $32 trillion. It's not. It's 7. That's true. It's 7. It's not 32. Because 28 of that we owe to ourselves, not anybody else. That's a fucking fact. And I can give you the numbers if you want.
Meaning we're printing money we don't have.
We are the world's biggest economy. Our money goes, our fucking supply and demand here, it's the number 1 economy in the world. It has been forever. That's why we're the fuck, because we're the best consumers in the world. Look at all the fucking fast food joints up any fucking local road. We just buy, I want, fucking buy, eat. That's what we fucking do. You think another country consumes as much as this country does? 2/3 of its is obese, for crying out loud.
I'm in the 2/3.
My point is this, okay? We're never going to be, this economy's never going to tank. It's a melting pot. If every other economy in the world shits the bed for a year, we'll still fucking thrive because they still need us, all of them. All of them.
We'll still be eating fast food.
That's right.
Okay.
So my point is that's a myth. That's a fucking myth. That's the other thing. The lies about the money, that stops. I'm going to tell you right now we're going to spend on defense. And if you look at how you guys sleep soundly tonight, you're not going to disagree with that either.
We're going to spend on defense.
The way we do now. We have to.
We don't have to spend that much on defense.
It's called, Brian will tell you the term, it's called deterrence. The fact that we have the best Navy and Air Force in the world deters a lot of things from happening around the world that otherwise would. By the way, you know what that upsets? The economy. Okay? Because if they block off ship lanes and products can't get to it, what do you think happens to the economy? It shuts down. The military alone prevents that shit from happening. If
we spend as much as 8 other nations, we don't need to spend that much.
Yes, we do. You know why? Because we do. Look at this. There is a fucking world war going on half a world away, and we're sitting here on a Wednesday night like fucking nothing's happening.
Right.
You know why we can do that?
So you're saying if we spent like, how much do we spend on war?
I'm talking about the defense budget to build do you know we have a fighter right now, a stealth fighter right now it goes like Mach 3 and it can drop a nuclear weapon. Do you know some of the shit that we have that nobody else has? That's deterrence because they know we have it. So when we say enough's enough.
I don't think we need to spend as much as we do.
Well, you don't know the numbers and you don't know who we're spending it against. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. Okay? And that's why they're contained the way they are. Because if you look at our borders don't stop at California and Virginia Beach, you know. They stop at Japan, they stop at the Philippines, they stop at Australia, out there. Over here, they stop at Western Europe and Africa. Why? We have more soldiers abroad. That's where most of our soldiers are deployed. They're all fucking at bases all over the fucking world. That's why.
So what's your point?
My point is we spend that money to live the way we live. Which, as much as we bitch about it, it's the best deal. It's still the best deal out there. Why does everybody come here? Why are our borders over flooded? Is there another nation that suffers like this? No.
Yes.
Not this bad. They don't have our numbers.
Oh,
really? How many are jumping the border to go to Russia or fucking China?
About Russia. I'm talking about places in Europe.
Just the United States. There's like 12 countries in Europe. No one of them has the problem we have at our borders.
Of immigration?
Not as severe as ours. We have just more sheer numbers.
Our borders are bigger.
That's what I'm saying. Sheer numbers country. Alone. Yeah. Plus, if you get in this country.
No, but I'm saying like you can't compare like sheer numbers. You have to look at the size of the country because it's how much of the percentage of the population is this group of immigrants that are coming in.
They're coming from Europe too, by the way. They're not just coming from the South. They're coming from Europe too. The point is, and they've caught them. So the thing is, and I'm not saying people shouldn't be allowed in this country, but there's a process and you got to follow it. There's a way and do things the right way. I have no problem letting people in this country, but come in here the right way. We shouldn't be paying for people that aren't working, unless they physically can't do it or they mentally can't do it. I'll pay for those people. That's not their fault. Things happen, okay? But most cases, in terms of the physical thing, maybe somebody did something stupid, they fell off a ladder drunk or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, the thing is, those people, by and large, yeah, okay, I'm all right with them. But the ones that are coming in here illegally, that we're paying for, that didn't do anything the right way, and we didn't even, now again, it's partially our fault because we should have this system in place. And we can pay people to do it. You could, if you wanted to.
Mean, look, I get that argument, but I'm kind of like, look, why the only reason I don't have to do that is because I was lucky enough to be born here. You know what I'm saying?
So our tax dollars pay for a lot of things, and our freedom the way it is one of them.
No, I understand, but I'm talking about when we talk about immigration, it's kind of like the only reason that we're here, it's luck.
It is luck. It's pure luck.
So I think when somebody immigrates here, whether it's illegal or legal, like I feel like I have compassion for that situation. They're trying to get to a better spot.
I have no problem with that. I'm saying we could create things, and I don't know if we started this or not, at the border where we can get all right, you want to come, here's what we're going to do. We'll put you through the program, we'll get you in here. Not just turn them away.
Yeah.
I don't want to just turn them away. They're here because for that reason. I get it. Yeah. But here's the other thing: when there's the occasional one that's coming over and pretending to be what they're not, what they're really not, and they're really going to be a problem, because that's why you got to have that stuff in place.
I know.
And again, it's not the
vast majority of people immigrating to countries. They're trying to make a better life.
I agree.
You know,
I agree with you. I'm just saying, if you have that system in place, this is why they want to look at. Think about this election coming up. What's one of the big things? The border. What are you gonna do about the immigration?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm saying there is a way to do this where you can help those people and we can check them and make sure at the border. There's nothing wrong with that. Trying to protect our own people. You got to do that too.
It's figuring out a better way to allow people to legally and peacefully immigrate or emigrate. I don't know how you would say it.
Yeah.
But I think, it always gets talked about in a way where, like, the people are vilified. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that.
I hate that.
Like that's what I feel like
but again,
Trump and them do. Like, they say, we got to fix immigration. Yeah. We got rapists coming in. It's like,
no,
we have to fix immigration.
But it's not.
Because it's a problem for the country.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out a better way to do it. It's not about the bad people coming in. No. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is,
the situation is bad.
The compromise is this: you set up something, and you can create jobs doing this. Give people jobs, working that border. How you want it? You want to come in? Okay, we're going to check you here if you're good, and we're going to let you in. And by the way, that way those people do get in. Yeah. They get them a citizenship. They get their parents. All right, we're going to put you in training programs. And this is the other thing. Train these fucking people to do jobs, and they'll become. You can't expect someone who gets over here who hasn't been trained in a fucking thing to just pick up a fucking no.
Or just maybe not speaking the language. I mean, imagine that if you were
how about language teachers? You can pay them like fuck. I'm saying there's ways to do this.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't think these people have tried to think of this? I think it's
I don't. So no, you know what? I don't think they really have tried to think of it. Because if they had, it's embarrassing. And by the way, Donald Trump made the Republican Party shoot down a bill that was actually co-signed originally by both sides of the aisle for the border that Biden had put in place, and Trump said, no, that'll look terrible for me in the next election. So that the Republicans shot it down when they originally agreed to it.
Because again, it's not about fixing immigration.
No, it's not.
It's about
power.
It's about
power. That's all it's about.
And it's also about pointing the finger at the immigrants. So it's the immigrants' fault we have this problem. No, it's not. It's the government's fault. Yep. Because there's got to be smart enough engineers, people who can figure out this problem.
Believe me, we can come up with fucking a plane that can fly over a country unready to drop a nuclear weapon, and we can't come up with a way to do this. Bullshit. But again,
it's easier to kill people and hate people than help people.
But the other thing is, there's another reason why 3% of the country controls 90% of the wealth. This is why. We talk about. I've made this argument before on this show. Low-income housing. Oh, not in the budget. Oh, wait. What country needs what? How many bombs? All of a sudden, $230 million fucking military package just appears out of nowhere. Because we didn't have it for this, but we have it. No.
See, that's why I said we need to spend less on. Or you're just saying spend whatever you do spend on defense and pay that money.
Because they're pocketing too much of it.
Yeah.
You guys, most of the country doesn't have, like I said, a 2% annual raise based on performance. They're keeping most of it. Anyway. And by the way, the fucking rich people are the one that are touted to the oil companies, all these big fucking corporations that make them what they are. They should pay taxes. They're the ones sending our kids over there to defend their crap too. Because that's the other reason they're over there. Let's be honest. I just talked about the economy. Why do our lanes rarely get blocked up? Why is shipping? And if it does, how fast does our military show up with a fucking strike group to wipe out the fucking country that made that mistake? And they all pee on their leg. Okay, we'll back off now.